Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Art Flash Podcast, Episode 3, going over electrical material status in America. So, I just kind of wanted to start off this whole thing with copper opened up at $748 on Monday morning. This was a rise from Friday's close at $470. These levels have returned to where they were when vendors first announced an increase. They did not move off these levels even when copper dropped throughout the last week. I do not expect there will be an increase unless copper climbs above this level during the week, which I wrote this on Monday, and come to find out it has jumped up a little bit more, but not catastrophic. So, what that means is, copper's kind of 3 to 10 weeks out for the distributor to get them, depending on the individual vendor that's associated with those coppers. So you're looking about 3 to 10 weeks for your distributor to actually get the material, and this impacts primarily Romex, THHN, things of that nature. Aluminum, going into that, aluminum levels continue to be all over the map. There's really, I'm having a hard time explaining it. I've done extensive research in most areas, and with the recent feedback, when we're digging into it, we found that some of the importers have been keeping lower levels in the marketplace. They have some stock left to get rid of at the old levels. However, when the distributor goes to buy them, it is like really low inventory, such as 1,000 feet of an item or 500 feet of another item, and what they are asking the suppliers is that they need higher levels of this, because 1,000 feet here and 500 feet there for most commercial projects is not going to really cut it, so it's hard to say. Domestic suppliers are a little bit leery to move much off the current price levels, with Russia supplying 40% of the global market in the aluminum, and all the sanctions against them right now have been obviously impactful. They believe that there will be more impact to the supply in this particular category that is already not keeping up with the demand. We are continuing to kind of monitor this situation, and I'm sure that the distributors are monitoring the opportunity when they come up and when they arise. But aluminum opened up at $2, and once again, this was on Monday, so it opened up at $2, and it's a 1 cent difference from Friday's close at $1.99. So the building wire for aluminum, what that means for the distributors to actually receive this material is going to be anywhere between 6 and 14 weeks, just depending on the vendor, the situation, and we will continue to monitor the Russia situation and how impactful this is. You know, moving on to steel. The steel that's in your EMT rigid pipe, continues to increase. Vendors have been going up 7 to 11%, and are currently doing weekly prices with the distributors. So for estimating purposes, this is one of those things that you have to keep a really big eye on, because it is impactful to your situation, because it's always going to be changing. And from my point of view, I don't see it going back down. It's safe to assume that they will push weekly increases at least the month of April, while concerns linger during the Russia-Ukraine conflict. So keep a really close eye on the EMT, rigid pipe, things of that nature, because it's going to be going up, skyrocketing, at least as my general prediction of what is happening in the marketplace at the current moment. Alright, so steel fittings obviously kind of go side and side with this, also increasing. The most problem that I'm kind of seeing from the distributor side is, only very few vendors are supporting the situation because of the stock and flow business, so it's kind of sad to hear, but most distributors are getting no quoted on projects because of this situation. That if you're not one of the big players in the game right now, that the littler guys, the more local guys are getting affected by this. And and you have to go to like a really big company, to get your fittings at this point. So that's another thing to kind of keep an eye on when you're trying to forecast the future of your projects, that the fittings, will be an even bigger issue than the actual pipe, and then the cost of those fittings is going up just at an astronomical rate. So you can imagine that, you can have the pipe, but you can't have the connectors, and that's a sticky situation to be in. As far as PVC pipe, there's an increase coming for those as well. They've been going up. It's ridiculous. Like, when I'm looking at these numbers, I'm pretty close to EMT at this freaking point, and there's no benefit of doing anything underground at the current moment, because of the way that the market's going. A fairly decent alternative that I've been finding is fiberglass. Fiberglass is a very usable product. It has the same rating as PVC Schedule 80, so you can kind of play with that a little bit and see if your vendors are bringing that in As far as I know, there hasn't been any shortages in the materials to make fiberglass tube. So, that might be an option for everyone to kind of look into. No one's going to turn down a better product for the same price. If you get asked, would you rather have a BMW or a Honda? Unless you have some weird connection with Honda, you're going to say, no, just give me the BMW for the same price and I'll be fine. So, something to look into if you're in the estimating market, that you can possibly look into that. As far as the PVC fittings that go along with your pipe, the PVC increases from the vendor seems to be on hold. So once again, it's the same issue that you have with the EMT pipe, where you're going to be have a lot of pipe but no fittings. It's kind of have to get creative with that situation. And maybe go into the rigid 90 situation, so you can transfer stuff over and possibly tape it. And then once again, that goes along with the give me a better product for the same price and we'll rock and roll. But the creative solution to this is to go with rigid pipe, rigid 90s, things of that nature, and start transferring everything over to on the head ends anyway, the rigid 90s, rigid coupling, and a nipple, and kind of go from that route onward. That's the crafty solution to the problem if you cannot find any PVC fittings. This has been my little update on where we stand in the electrical market with our materials. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. My name is John Spier, your host of the Arc Flash podcast. Take a look at us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. We're on everything. If you would like, you can watch this particular episode on YouTube, or Spotify, Google, Amazon, a little bit of everything. So, hope you guys have a great day. This particular video was sponsored by Burnt Shoes. So, if you're looking for a new work boot, I just got a pair of these. Amazing. Softest that I've ever felt. I talked to my buddy the other day. He thought the exact same thing. We all kind of like the Marlin. It's a flat boot that I gotta admit, some really good stuff coming out of that place. And they offer a lot more than boots. They got work pants, work clothes, and it's definitely something to take a look at it. I'll put a link in the bio so you guys can check it out. Once again, my name is John Spier. Hope you guys have a great day, and please be safe out there. Thank you.